the win was incredible. It was, and frankly, it's the first time I've ever watched to the end of the Academy Awards. First time ever. So it was exciting.
Were you cheering?
I was by myself, but yeah, I was excited.
And you got to see a screenplay of the movie before it actually went out to theaters.
They brought a few of us in. It gave us a chance to see the movie kind of in private and let the emotions kind of take over from there. So that was real helpful for us.
Why come forward now and put your name out there?
Seeing the movie sort of opened my eyes to the fact that I had nothing to be ashamed of. And for all these years, even going through the process with the Globe, as I mentioned, I wanted to be anonymous, and just realizing that how complicit the church leadership was and how systemic it was. I shouldn't be the one with the shame, that these predators should be the ones with the shame. And I felt like, had I been mugged in a park, I wouldn't be ashamed to tell anyone. And the only way this stuff stops is by people coming forward. So I thought coming forward would help, and I hope it has.
That first decision you had when you were remaining anonymous to actually make that phone call and meet with reporter, that had to have been a really tough decision.
It was. In the movie, the person who, the actor who portrays me, has a comment about, "I never even told my wife." That was true. She knew something had happened, but she didn't know the extent of it. And when the Globe story ran, I couldn't believe how systemic it was. And I knew a priest who had raped someone, me. And I felt like I needed to come forward, and so I called Walter Robinson, Robbie. And although the movie has that sequence taking place prior to the Globe story breaking, I actually was one of the ones who called after the Globe story broke. And so they moved the timeline on my situation. But it just opened my eyes that, I always thought I was the only one. And the Globe story opened my eyes to that as well. I didn't want to go public, but I certainly wanted to tell Walter Robinson or the Globe Spotlight about this guy Talbot. That actually led to me, as a matter of fact, it was Robbie's suggestion or question, me going to the Boston Police and eventually the Suffolk DA. 3 years later, Talbot went to jail. My testimony was used in the grand jury, which led to him pleading guilty a few years later, and he went to jail for 6 years. So it's all been a little bit of a progression, including my name coming forward now. After a couple of days thinking about it, I made the decision that, talking to family and friends, that by doing the story, it could help others. And frankly, the outreach, hundreds have reached out to me, but many of them are people sharing their sharing their story for the first time with me and saying, if you can come out, I can come out too. And I just want to tell you what happened to me. And so many people, one very close friend shared this story with me, and people who I know professionally or friendly acquaintances have called and reached out and told me what has happened to them, both men and women.
And you had no idea that they had gone through that same thing?
No. I had a very good friend who, after he saw the story on me, and said, "Let's go out and grab a beer, I want to talk to you about something," and shared with me. He, as an altar boy, was attacked when he was 11 or 12.
It has to feel like you made the right decision then.
It has. Just because you go through something like this, you can still have a great, happy, long life. And the positive nature about people coming up and saying it's helped them, the chance to, by coming forward, it's afforded me the chance to really have conversations with my kids. As adults, they knew something happened because I shared it with them. They were like 12, 10, and 6 when I went to trial, when he went to court, Talbot. And so I shared with them that, hey, I gave a victim statement, and so I knew my face would be out there. But I had left it that I was attacked in school. this time around, I sat down with each of them individually and talked to them about what happened, what it meant in my life, and how you go through adversities, you can come out of it okay. You just got to keep moving forward.
So how is your life now? Tell me about it.
It's great. The kids are out of the house. Not that that's a great thing, but an empty nest. I'm living in Boston. Work is going well. I've got good health. I've got a great family. It's wonderful. The only way evil and bad things stop happening is by people coming forward and speaking out against it. And just because things were handled one way in the past, as the church handled it, swept this stuff under the rug, doesn't mean that's how we have to handle it moving forward. And moving forward, we need to take care of our kids, and we need to speak out when we see something that's not right.